everything's square. And
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Memorial Day weekend. Thank you to all of you who served in our military.
Thank you.
And we remember together all of those who gave their life for that cause. And may we all be really, truly thankful. A couple of announcements today. Next week is the benefit concert for Project Concern. So we have a bunch of musical groups that are coming in the afternoon. They're putting on a concert. Come and enjoy the music. One more announcement. Today for communion hymns, we will sing only 2 verses of each hymn. I guess Lance and Jenny are filling in. They only know the first 2 verses. Matt has an announcement.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
I don't know if you've heard it all, but we are trying to get your opinion of what makes St. Mark St. Mark. You can see this. It says there's a little sheet that we have on the back table there. It just says "We are St. Mark's" on the top, and it has some other questions on here. If you want to fill one out, please do. We're just trying to get some things together to put on the website and out in the narthex on the bulletin board there. Just kind of what makes St. Mark St. Mark's. Don't think that you have to answer all of these questions. Whatever St. Mark's is to you, we would appreciate your response. So the better responses we get, the more we can tell other people of what makes this place so awesome. And it's all of us. So that's what I would answer. It's all the people here. So if you would be so kind as to fill one out, like I say, they're back on the table there. That would be wonderful. You can give them to me, leave them around, make spitballs, throw them at Jenny today or something. I don't know. But do what you will, and please fill one out if you could. Thank you.
Today we are beginning a new 5-week sermon series called "What Do You Wonder?" And I solicited questions from people at both churches, and I received maybe a dozen or so, and they are all listed on a paper that we are going to be handing out to give you the opportunity to vote for which questions you would like to hear. I've already chosen one for today. I figured it would be a little last minute. But for the next 4 Sundays, you have a chance to vote what questions you want to talk about. Some scripture readings. All scripture is breathed out by God and profitable for teaching, for reproof, for correction, for training in righteousness, that the man of God may be complete, equipped for every good work. From Romans, whatever was written in former days was written for our instruction, that through endurance and through encouragement of the scriptures, we might have hope. From Isaiah, so shall my word be that goes out from my mouth. It shall not return to me empty, but it shall accomplish that which I propose, and shall succeed in the thing for which I sent it. And from Matthew, heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. You may be seated. So why questions? Why do a sermon? Oh, that's a question. Why do a sermon series on questions that people wonder about? Why would we do that? I kids ask a lot of questions. Have you ever been a parent with a 3 or 4-year-old? You know what their favorite question is? But why? We're going to go to Grandma's. But why? Because we love Grandma. But why? Because she's nice to us. But why? I don't know. Hey, wear you out. But questions help us to learn new things. When my kids were little, we used to go on road trips. Sometimes it was just to get ice cream. Sometimes it was to the Grand Canyon. Other than seeing how much luggage we put in the car, the kids had no way of knowing what we were up to. And I did that for a reason. I did not want them to be complaining the whole time that do we have to go? How long is this going to take? We're going to be in the car for 3 whole days? But that doesn't work when they get to be, a certain age. They want to know, I'm not getting in the car until you tell me where we're going. And that's what we would call maturity, right? Now, some people are satisfied or happy just in their faith, going wherever the pastor takes them. They'll just listen, they'll be happy and content. Maybe they'll complain after the fact. But in a mature world, as we grow in faith, we want to know, where is this headed? And how long is this sermon going to be anyway, Pastor? At 2:30 this morning, somebody driving from Amazon came down our driveway. And we have a little, I don't know what it is, it looks like an owl. It senses when someone is coming down your driveway. Then it makes this loud noise in our house in the middle of the night when I'm sleeping. And I heard it, and every now and then a deer will trigger it. So, I'm prepared to deal with that, but I look out and there are headlights coming down the driveway. And Sharon and I had just finished watching a movie called Leaving the World Behind. Anybody seen it? Well, that's part of your homework now. It's with Julia Roberts. It's not a bad movie. It's actually a really interesting, thought-provoking movie about the end of the world. Julia Roberts and her family decide to go on vacation. They just need a break from their lives. So they get an Airbnb at the coast, an hour or so, half hour from New York City where they live, in Brooklyn. And while they're there, the world starts to crumble. They don't know they're in this kind of idyllic setting, this beautiful house with a pool, and they're just kind of enjoying things. And in the middle of the night, a knock on the door, and the owner of the Airbnb, who kind of knows something is going on, joins them. And then all the communications go dead, the internet goes dead, and they're left wondering what is going on. And all of this sort of plays into the final little bit where they have to decide, who is my family? Is it just there are limited resources here, is it just my family, or is it this new sort of family that we have taken in, or is it complete strangers? And that's kind of what the question asks. And so, the world ending and the Amazon guy coming in the middle of the night, I woke up and went, oh my gosh. Should I welcome this guy? Should I run him off? Wait, do we have a gun? No, we don't have a gun. We don't believe in guns. Wait, what? That was my 2:30 in the morning thinking. Well, the first question that we're going to tackle in this sermon series is, what is the overarching theme of the Bible? What is the Bible all about? Anybody want to venture a guess? What is the Bible about?
It's a guideline to way we should live our lives.
Amen. Thank you, Bill. When I was growing up, confirmation, Bible camp, I got this idea about what the Bible was about. It's probably what about 95% of people in the world who call themselves Christians think that the Bible is. And it starts up here with this nice line up here. We'll call this creation. In the beginning, God created the world. And you get over, it's going to start over here and kind of go this way. So as we're going this way, what happens here? We have the creation and then, any systematic theologians? The fall. Does everybody know what the fall is? Adam and Eve, right? In the garden, they eat from the wrong tree, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And all of a sudden, through the fall, they are banished. And now they're no longer up here in the garden, but they are down here in the world of struggle. The angel even tells Eve that she's now going to have trouble in childbirth. And Adam, you are going to toil by the sweat of your brow to succeed, to exist. So no more garden where you just go eat what you want, do your thing. Now we're down here in the struggle. And this struggle happens all through the Bible until we get to Jesus. And then Jesus lives his life. We don't hear too much of that. Sometimes, at least not in systematic theology. And then Jesus dies. And his death takes this one line of struggle and makes it into two lines that diverge. Anybody want to guess what this line ends up?
Salvation.
Salvation. Yeah. Heaven. Something like that. And this line, damnation. All right, so this would be the 6-line narrative that many people think Christianity is based on. It's not hard to find. Pretty much anywhere you go, you would find this. I think we can do better than this. I think God thinks we can do better than this. I don't think the good news is that while some of us go here, some of us go there. That's not very good news. If we believe that Jesus came to teach us about the heart and character of God, and he came to reveal God to us, if the 6-line narrative was what he came to reveal, he did a really bad job of it. Jesus never speaks of the fall. He never speaks of the divergence except 3 times. One of which he speaks about it, and at the divergence, people get to this point, and there's a group of people who are really excited about the divergence because they know that they get to go here. You know what happens to all of those people? They go here. And then there's another group of people who arrive here, and there's no way we're getting to go there. This is us, and instead they go there. That's a third of what Jesus speaks about the afterlife. I don't think that the overarching narrative of the Bible was meant to prepare us for an afterlife. What do you think? You want to go on that car ride? What do you think the overarching narrative of the Bible would be? I think we have to go back. Maybe not as far as Adam and Eve, although we could probably make a case there too. But what about this dude named Abram? He becomes Abraham after his son's born. Abram doesn't have any children, yet God comes to him and says, I'm going to make you the father of a great nation. And it's just not happening. And then when Abram is 99 years old, Genesis 18, he looks up and there are 3 men at his door. Now, thinking about this story and watching this movie makes you realize and remember that when Abram looks and sees 3 strangers at his door, he's probably like me in the middle of the night. Like, what do I do? Where's the weaponry? Do I have servants here? How am I going to take care of my family? What can I do? Stranger danger. But that's not his impulse. Instead, immediately he sees them and he runs to them and he bows in front of them. And he says, "Can I make you a meal?" And he welcomes them into his tent and he goes to his wife Sarai and he says, "Sarai, find 3 of our best cups of most choice flour and make 3 little cakes, 1 for each of them." It says at the beginning of the story that this is God at their door. But Abraham doesn't know that. But because of the hospitality of Abram, God sees in this one somebody who doesn't only think about their fear. God sees somebody who sees the stranger as family. Another story from Genesis. Jacob and Esau. They're twins, born 6 minutes apart or something. Esau was the older one, so he inherits the birthright. Jacob is the younger one, and like most younger brothers, the more clever one. And he tricks his brother out of the birthright. But it doesn't really go that well for him, because even though he has the birthright, he no longer has a brother. And his brother is much bigger than him. And so he leaves everything he knows and everything he has, and he flees out into the desert. And he sees this really great place to take a nap or to go to bed for the night. And he sets his head on a rock. And in the middle of the night, he has a visitor. Now, this story has probably more commentary on rabbis writing about what this means. We're not sure. The writing is ambiguous to, did this actually happen? Is this a dream? Is it just something happening in his mind? Or did Esau actually find him in the desert? But the two start wrestling. And they wrestle all night long until daybreak. And then he says, "I won't let you go until you bless me." And then Jacob receives the blessing again. I think that story helps us to understand that this life of faith is about wrestling with questions, wrestling with our identity, wrestling with who we are as people, who is our family, who are strangers, and how do we react, and how do we handle what they bring. Fast forward to Jesus. He's walking along, and large crowds of people are closing in on him. And up ahead, he sees this short little guy sitting in a tall bush, a sycamore tree. And he goes right over to him, and he says, "Come on down." He probably asked somebody, "Who is this guy in the tree?" "Oh, that's Zacchaeus, the tax collector. You want nothing to do with him. He is a stranger." Jesus walks right over to him, and he says, "Come on down. I'm coming to your house for dinner." Sound familiar? And as they eat together, Zacchaeus is moved. And he says, "If I've cheated anyone, I'll repay them 4 times. And Jesus says, salvation has come to this house today. The salvation Jesus is talking about, the overarching narrative is not something that happens when you die. Well, at least according to Jesus, it's something that happens today when you welcome strangers into your house. When you are welcomed and you find community. You can believe the sixth line there, a lot of people do. It might be true. That might be exactly how God set it up, and he didn't have Jesus tell us about it or talk about it much because he wanted it to only come to those who really work hard. That's possible. We won't know, of course, until we die. But what we can know now is that creating community and welcoming strangers brings salvation